I invite you to consider a paradox that many of you, as advanced seekers, know all too well. The more you know, the harder it seems to get there. You have studied the texts, you understand the mechanics of frequency, and yet you find yourself in a state of exhaustion from trying to apply these laws while seeing nothing shift. You are carrying the weight of the expert's burden, and today we are going to dismantle the walls that your own intellect has built around your power. Have you ever noticed how a beginner, someone who has just discovered the law, often manifests with a speed that seems almost insulting to the seasoned student? This is not a fluke of the universe, it is the power of uncomplicated intent. As an advanced practitioner, you carry the silent burden of deep, complex questions. You are not just asking for a change in circumstances, you are seeking metaphysical answers for wounds that traditional psychology has not resolved. This depth is your strength, but it has become your expert's burden. Beginners manifest quickly because they lack the vibrational blocks created by overanalyzing the how and the when. Their intent is a single, clear note. Your intent is often a crowded orchestra of what if, why not yet, and am I doing this right? You're questioning if the metaphysical laws are truly real because your sophisticated mind is looking for a knowledge exclusive that justifies your current delay. The truth is, the universe only needs one answer from you. Yes, I am the creator. To reclaim your inner spark, you must learn to return to the simplicity of the beginner's mind, where the vortex is not a puzzle to be solved, but a frequency to be inhabited. In the realm of physical reality, when two surfaces rub together, they create friction and heat, eventually burning out the system. Metaphysically, your overthinking acts as mental friction. Jerry Hicks often spoke of the art of allowing, which is essentially the removal of this friction. When you overanalyze your vibrational state, you create a self-sabotaging pattern that generates mental heat rather than creative flow. Every "why isn't it working" is a point of friction that burns out the clarity of your manifestation signal. This friction is what makes you feel vibrationally blocked, as if the flow of the universe has stopped just for you. Instead of resonance, you are creating interference. Your subconscious is simply awaiting instructions, but it cannot hear the signal through the static of your analytical heat. To reset, you must cool the mind and return to the presence where the friction of the ego ceases to exist. We have been conditioned by the social world to believe that more thought leads to better results. In the world of metaphysical law, this is a dangerous myth. Challenging the belief that more thought leads to better results is the first step towards sovereignty. The sense of being disconnected from the larger reality is often a direct result of trying to think your way into the vortex. You cannot analyze your way into inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Peace is a state of being, not a conclusion of a logical argument. When you think it through, you are usually just repeating negative, self-sabotaging patterns under the guise of solving them. I invite you to consider, what if the lack you feel is actually your subconscious holding on to the idea of analysis as a safety net? The universe is listening to the frequency you emit, not the complexity of your theories. You do not need more knowledge. You need more alignment. You need to realize that your intention is a sovereign command that requires no justification from your intellect. Many of you carry a silent burden of exhaustion, not from physical labor, but from the mental labor of trying to apply the law. You feel that your energy is vibrationally blocked because the mental noise is so loud that you've lost your inner spark. Today, we transition from the weight of the expert's mind into the high-frequency power of silence. In our modern world, the advanced seeker is often trapped in a state of hyper-beta brainwaves. This is the frequency of intense focus, analysis, and survival. While useful for solving linear problems, this state acts as a firewall against the vortex. When you are overthinking, your brain is firing in a scattered high-frequency pattern that mirrors the existential anxiety of being disconnected from the larger reality. This firewall prevents the subconscious from receiving the clear, definitive spiritual guidance you desire. You believe you are seeking metaphysical answers, but in hyper-beta, you are actually repeating negative self-sabotaging patterns despite your conscious effort. To reach alignment, you must lower your brainwave frequency from the friction of beta to the flow of alpha and theta, where the inner spark resides. I invite you to consider a radical idea. The universe does not need your thoughts to keep the stars in place, and it does not need your analysis to manifest your sovereignty. We will now perform a tactical exercise in non-thought, the 60-second mental fast. This exercise is designed to prove that the flow of the universe does not stop when you stop thinking. For 60 seconds, we practice the presence of silence, refusing to engage with the constant repetition of self-sabotaging thoughts. This is a pattern interrupt that dismantles the advanced block of thinking it through. By intentionally unplugging the intellect, you allow your resonance to naturally rise toward the frequency of the source. To move from the state of seeking to the state of being, we must engage the vagal brake. This is the physical bridge between your nervous system and your conscious creator status. When you are in a state of spiritual plateau or doubt, your body is often in a subtle fight or flight mode. Using rhythmic, deep breathing, you signal to your brain that it is safe to stop analyzing. This breathwork acts as a high-frequency ritual that provides emotional balance and consistent inner alignment. As the body relaxes, the vagal brake slows the mental friction, allowing you to move from survival into the quantum principles of ease and creation. In this state of silence, you are finally heard. Many of you feel spiritually isolated or misunderstood, even when you are actively engaged in your communities. You carry the silent burden of deep, complex wounds that traditional psychology has not fully resolved, leading you to seek deeper, metaphysical answers. However, the very search for these answers often hides a subtle shadow: the need to know. This is a mechanism of control that prevents the very awakening you desire. Within the architecture of the advanced seeker, there often resides what we might call the inner manager. This is the part of your ego that doesn't truly trust the vortex to deliver without constant, rigorous supervision. This inner manager is the source of the constant repetition of negative, self-sabotaging patterns despite your conscious effort to manifest. It believes that if it stops trying to apply the law of assumption, the flow will stop and your energy will become vibrationally blocked. This part of you questions if the metaphysical laws are truly real whenever it cannot see the immediate how of the process. By trying to manage the universe, you are actually reinforcing the sense of being disconnected from the soul's purpose and the larger reality. We must address why you overthink. To the analytical mind, the space where the vortex operates, the quantum field, looks like a void. Overthinking is often a sophisticated defense mechanism against the fear of this unknown space. Your expert's burden makes you fear that without intellectual structure, you will lose your inner sovereignty. You may feel a loss of your inner spark or the joy of living, apathy, because you are so focused on the fear of what happens if you let go of control. Metaphysical clarity is not found in more information, but in the courage to inhabit the silence of the void. Integrating this fear means realizing that the void is not empty. It is the reunion with the source where all health, love, and prosperity are consistently manifested. The tactical shift required for your transformation is the move from managing the process to simply inhabiting the result. This is the essence of what Neville Goddard taught as living in the end, and you must learn to use frequency, energy, and quantum principles to fundamentally change your state of being now rather than waiting for the how to be explained. This is an inner victory, being remembered as someone who conquered their internal self and its need for control. Instead of supervising the universe, become a conscious creator who constantly vibrates love, gratitude, and presence. The universe only needs one answer from you. Yes, I am the creator. A statement that requires no how, only the intention of the heart. Many of you have spent years studying the law, yet you feel a sense of exhaustion from trying to apply the law of assumption and seeing nothing shift. This is the spiritual plateau, where your very effort has become the barrier. I invite you to enter the Sabbath protocol, a state of sovereignty where you finally grant your mind permission to stop interfering with the work of the divine. In our previous session, we spoke of the Zeigarnik effect, how unfulfilled manifestations create a mental open loop that drains your energy. To master the art of non-interference, you must apply this in reverse. You must close the mental file so your subconscious can finally process the instructions without your ego's constant revisions. Subconscious reprogramming. Your subconscious is simply awaiting instructions. It does not need a lecture on how to carry them out. Breaking the cycle. By forgetting the need, you effortlessly break cycles of self-sabotage that stem from the fear that your energy is vibrationally blocked. Definitive knowledge. Closing the file is an act of metaphysical clarity, a knowing that you have been heard and the connection to the source is unshakable. The Sabbath state. This is the Sabbath mentioned by Neville Goddard, not a day of the week, but a state of mind where you no longer labor because the work is vibrationally finished. There is a deeper fear among advanced seekers that if they stop focusing on their goal, it will disappear. This leads to a constant repetition of negative patterns as you check and recheck your vibration. I invite you to consider that doing something mindless, gardening, walking, or cleaning, is often the most productive manifestation work you can do. Lowering resistance. When you engage in high-frequency rituals like a simple walk in nature, you provide the emotional balance necessary for consistent inner alignment. Restoring the spark. Strategic distraction helps recover your inner spark by removing the pressure of trying to manifest. Entering the flow. In these moments of non-thought, you move into a state of flow where your resonance naturally aligns with your soul's purpose. Presence. True presence is often found when the inner manager is busy with a simple physical task, leaving the spirit free to vibrate at its natural frequency. To attain inner sovereignty, you must clearly define the boundaries of your mental labor. Most of your existential anxiety comes from trying to do a job that does not belong to you. Your only job, your responsibility is limited to choosing the what, the intention, the state of being, and the frequency of gratitude. The Vortex's job, the how, the arranging of health, love, and prosperity, is the exclusive domain of the Vortex and the universe. Metaphysical boundaries. When you try to figure out the how, you are questioning if the laws are real, which introduces doubt in the law. Relinquishing control. By declaring, "This is not my job," you reclaim your peace regardless of external circumstances, allowing the universe to orchestrate the reunion of your desire and your reality. We have dismantled the expert's burden and looked into the shadows of the inner manager. You are now standing at the threshold of a new way of being, where the constant repetition of self-sabotaging patterns ends not through force, but through the grace of metaphysical clarity. The final step to inner sovereignty is mastering the soft focus, the ability to exist in the vortex without the friction of a clenched mind. There is a strange law in the metaphysical realm. Looking directly at the desire with the intensity of need often scares it away, while noticing it with a gentle appreciation attracts it. This is the peripheral vision of manifestation. Avoiding the resistance. When you stare directly at what is missing, you reinforce the sense of being vibrationally blocked. The gentle notice. Instead of a hard focus on the lack, you use a soft focus to notice the presence of your desire as an already existing reality. Implicit desire. This shift satisfies the implicit desire for unshakable connection, as you no longer need to watch the universe to make sure it's working. Vibrational mastery. By holding your desire in your peripheral awareness, you maintain alignment without triggering the expert's burden of overanalysis. The final instruction in your awakening is the transition from thinking to sensing, the core of the Neville Goddard shift. You must replace the exhaustion of trying with the ease of resonance. Subconscious breakthrough. Your subconscious can be reprogrammed in minutes when you stop thinking about the problem and start sensing the solution. The feeling is the secret. To manifest health, love, and prosperity, you must feel the frequency of the result in your body now. From analysis to presence. Thinking is a tool of the ego. Sensing is the language of the soul. The conscious creator. You are not a manager of thoughts. You are a sensor of frequencies. I invite you to consider the final metaphor for your transformation. The open hand. You cannot receive the gifts of the vortex with a clenched fist. The expert's burden is the fist. The sovereign self is the open palm. The clenched fist, overthinking, and the need to know represent a clenched mind that is too full of effort to receive the flow. The physics of the void. A relaxed mind creates the space, the void, where quantum principles can finally arrange your reality. Inner victory. The ultimate victory is not conquering the world, but conquering the internal urge to grip the how. The reunion. In the silence of the open hand, you find the reunion with the source you have been seeking all along. What if the inner spark you have been searching for was never lost, but simply waiting for you to stop trying to hold it so tightly? I invite you to consider, are you ready to unplug from the labor of the mind and finally plug into the frequency of the soul?